Hello. Um, my name is Amara. I wanted to do sort of like a self-reflection video because I'm experiencing a lot of, um, we'll call them earth-shattering moments. That's what we're gonna call it. But not bad moments, just different moments. And I feel like this is sort of like a roadmap for those who maybe are going through the same thing. And we'll go from there. I am gonna warn you before we get started that this video is just recorded on my laptop, which is why it's so grainy. And it might freeze because that's just it's a low quality thing. I can't I don't know what to say to that. But so first things first. This year has been kind of a transformative year. There's been a lot of changes in my life where I had to let go of a lot of things, let go of a lot of people, and just do a lot of self-reflection and figuring out what it was that I actually wanted to do. And it took me a while to realize that I was stuck in a very unhealthy position where I was in a space where I felt like I wasn't seen, I wasn't heard, and it was almost like invisible to the people around me. And it left me feeling kind of like a husk of myself. When you're constantly not being heard or seen and feeling like you're an invisible person, that can do a lot to you. It can shatter your self-esteem and put you down and make you feel like you don't really have a purpose in life. And that's a hard thing for people who have been through my situation of, like when I was a child, I was subject to a lot of difficult, like abusive situations. And I won't go into detail about that because I've grown from it. And while the scars are going to be there for the rest of my life, that doesn't mean that I don't want that to be like my defining feature when talking and meeting with people and meeting, like future followers or meeting future fans or whatever the case may be. Um, I want this to be sort of like a video for them to sort of gain inspiration to go after whatever they want. I'm 33 years old, and it took me a very long time to get to a position where I felt like I could take a risk. I'm not saying a lot, and I feel like for a lot of people, they're going to come to a point. You're going to come to a point, as people where you feel like you are stuck in a position where you don't know if you even can make the choice, like you're scared to make the choice. And I don't want to say make the choice spontaneously like I did because I don't think that that would be very healthy for a lot of people to do, especially if they're in a position where they can't. However, I do think that when you get an opportunity, like a little small window, it could even be like 5 minutes to just try something new and see if you like it or don't like it or whatever the situation may be, to just go for it. Don't like change your life around, but at least give it a shot and see what happens with it because you never know what could span from just like 5 minutes on the internet. Or, like say you take up pottery or whatever the situation may be, and you find out that you really love pottery and you want to make a business out of it. Whatever the situation may be for you, I think that for a lot of people, it's really important to to take a look at themselves and see how far they've come in so little time. I mean, it's only been like a year. I feel like, well, maybe like 8 months for me where it took me a while to actually come to up to a point where I could make the decision to separate myself from these people. And I want to just say, like, they weren't bad people. I just feel like my language and their language were two different things. Like they came from a very safe space where they had support and they had people in their lives who could support them. I came from a space where I didn't have the support and I was struggling the entire time because I felt like the language that I was speaking and the language that they were speaking were two very different things. And it's really hard to come from a place where you've had nothing and go into a place where the people around you have had everything and not see there's where the contempt can be. Especially when they look at you and they say just get over it. That's really hard to deal with because you can't just get over trauma. It's there for you with you for the rest of your life. You can heal from it as best as you can, but the scars are always going to be there. They're always going to be a thing. Um, and the best thing that you can do for yourself is to take care of yourself and to advocate for yourself. I feel like that's really important because at the end of the day, the person that has to live with themselves the most is you, and you can make the choice to change or you can make the choice to remain the same, and that is completely up to you. I feel like that was harsh, but that is kind of the reality. I think a lot of people need to understand is that like you can make a lot of choices for yourself and you can make a lot of choices that could either be to your detriment or to your benefit. And those are the choices that only you can make and people can persuade you to do things, but at the end of the day, ultimately it is your choice to make them. Um I have goals for the future that I want to accomplish that I think is really important moving forward. So primarily my channel was supposed to be for gaming. And um I still plan on making gaming videos on the channel, but I also plan on doing other things too. Like I do readings for people. I plan to continue to do them like online readings because I am a psychic medium. That's just part of my identity. I'm not going to change that anytime soon. And still going to be a continuous thing on the channel. But I'm also going to try my best to, you know, do a lot more creative projects that I've been wanting to do. I really want to get into acting and I really want to get into, I have like a goal for eventually. And that goal is to create a foundation where people who have been in my situation, like kids who have been in my situation, have a support system, like a support network that is solely made to prepare them for things like getting a job, financially prepare them for finding an apartment, getting a resume put together, getting like helping them learn how to budget, things of that nature that I feel like while they may get that in their foster homes that because I've come from the foster care system, while I feel like there is a solid there are things in place for that. I feel like there's a little bit of a disconnect when it comes to doing it for the child's benefit and doing it so that they can get out of the system as quickly as possible. Um, that sounds harsh, but like they were constant. I just remember when I was, 15, they were constantly pressuring me into getting adopted as quickly as possible because they were worried that I was going to age out and all of my support systems were going to go away. That's what they told me. I don't want that for kids. I don't want that for any future kid that goes into the system. I want to create a foundation that allows those kids to get everything that they could possibly need in order for them to be successful because I feel like everyone thinks about what the adults want, and I feel like everyone fails when it comes to what the children need. So that is going to be my one of my biggest goals, and something that I'm going to actively work towards is creating a foundation for kids called Safe Place, or Safe Place for Kids, or something of that nature. I'm sure that there's already something called that, where kids in foster homes get the help that they need to be successful adults. Um, in terms of other things that I feel like are important for me right now, is taking care of myself, I think. Um, taking care of the things that really I haven't been taking care of. I feel like I've taken a lot of hits this year. And I feel like I've sort of let myself feel a certain way about myself, and I don't think that that's a good thing. Um, and I want to think more positively. Like I'd like to meet more people. I'd like to get more. Um, I really want to do something in the entertainment industry because that's just like where I feel like my heart is right now, and I want to just like try different avenues and see what sticks. Um, and obviously, part of that is also making a living for myself because I currently don't have one. And that's at the forefront of my mind. But I'd like to try something and do anything to get myself into that position. Um, so, in conclusion, if you see this video and say it's like a year from now and you see this video and you're one of my fans or you're one of my potential people's clients or whatever the case may be, this is like the starting point of me, and you this is probably the video that is at my lowest point at this time. But I am a fighter, always have been, always will be. I am a person that is striving for good and bigger things, and if you see this, I hope that this inspires you to create something out of nothing the way that I had to. And I hope that, future spouse person looking to you, if you see this video and you're scratching your head, please just ask me instead of just scratching your head. Um, and just like, I feel like this is gonna be both a point of um head scratching and a lot of laughter, I hope. Like looking back at this, it's gonna be like, what were you worried about? So yeah, that's my video for today, and I hope that if you are watching this, or if you have been watching this, thank you for sticking with me, and yeah, let's see what happens in a year. Bye.